respected dignitaries, distinguished guests, doctors, and other supporting staff. It's my great privilege and pleasure to extend a warm welcome to each one of you on behalf of CEO Hospital. Sorry for the interruption. It's my great privilege and pleasure to extend a warm welcome to each one of you on behalf of CEO Hospital, CEO Clinical Society, and CEO Group of Medical Institutions to this enlightening seminar on artificial intelligence in healthcare. Let us begin this academic evening by invoking the blessing of the Almighty with prayer. I call upon Sister Rina to deliver prayer. Soulful prayer. Next, let us pay tribute to our motherland with Nagamani.T. I request everyone to please raise for Nagamani.T.
Oh,
Thank you. Please be seated. We are deeply honored to have with us our chief guest and keynote speaker, Dr. Aditya A.R., Professor and Head of Department of Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning, Vidyavardhaka College of Engineering, Mysore. Sir, it is indeed our pleasure to have you with us today, and we are eagerly looking forward to your insights on how AI is revolutionizing the medical field. I welcome you, sir. We also extend a warm welcome to our guest speaker, Dr. Vikram Patil, Professor of Radiology and Deputy Dean Research, J. Shashir, Mysore, who will be sharing his valuable experience and real-world applications of artificial intelligence in diagnostic radiology and clinical practice. I welcome you, sir. A special welcome to our chairperson, Dr. S.P. Yogana, Chairman, CEO Hospital, whose vision and leadership continue to inspire us, all of us in our journey towards excellence in healthcare. We are equally privileged to have CEO Yogana, Director, CEO Hospital. I welcome you, sir. Your encouragement and support make such academic events possible. I also welcome Dr. Seema Yogana, Madam, to this event. Director, CEO Hospital and CEO Group of Medical Institutions. Welcome you all. Let us now begin this academic journey with light, a symbol of knowledge and enlightenment. I request our dignitaries to kindly come forward for the lamp lighting and inauguration of this event.
ನಾನು ಆಮೇಲೆ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೇನೆ.
Few words on today's theme, artificial intelligence in healthcare. Artificial intelligence, once a concept of science fiction, is now an indispensable tool in modern medicine. AI is helping doctors diagnose disease earlier and more accurately, analyze complex data, and personalize treatment for each patient. From radiology to pathology, from predictive analytics to robotic surgeries, AI is redefining the way we approach healthcare. It does not replace human touch, but enhances human intelligence, making healthcare more effective, evidence-based, and patient-centered. As we stand at this exciting intersection of technology and medicine, it is essential that we embrace AI as a collaborator, not as a competitor. It is our mission to heal humanity. Once again, I welcome you all to this academic session and hope today's seminar sparks everyone new ideas, collaboration, and curiosity among all of us. Thank you, and let's look forward to an inspiring session ahead. Now we move on to the keynote address by Dr. Aditya Sia. Before that, I would like to give brief introduction of today's guest. He started his career as a software developer at Tata Access Private Limited, Bangalore. He received his doctorate degree from Vishwesvaraya Technology University. His area of research is in the domain of predictive analytics for healthcare. Presently, Dr. Aditya Sia is working as a professor and head of department of CSE, Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning at Vidyavardhaka College of Engineering, Mysore. His research areas include machine learning and medical informatics. He is a IEEE senior member and has published various referee articles and patents. He has served as a session chair at international conferences, delivered hands-on sessions for faculty members and students on machine learning and data science. He has served as a board of studies and board of examination member for institutions such as Presidency University, Malnad College of Engineering, Hassan, BGSIT, and PS Mandya. He is a member of many doctoral committees, and one of his research scholars has been awarded with PhD. I hand over this session to Dr. Aditya Sia.
A warm good afternoon to all. First of all the dignitaries, the doctors, practitioners, and the family members of Suyo Group. I feel humbled and also a great pleasure to come and speak to people. Right? It's the first time visiting the doctors and speaking. One of the great profession which we admire the most. And also I grew up hearing the name of Dr. Yogana from the childhood. So sir is also sitting here, so it gives me pleasure. Since I'm from the technical background, don't go much deep into the medical terms. I'll give the trends that is happening in the AI, what are the gaps present with respect to the medical field, and what may be the future avenues for the medical industry. And since so sir told a few of you might be new to the terms of AI, I'll just try to introduce the basic concepts of AI so that you'll get a flow on what the gap is existing and why is it existing, right? So, as you know, the AI has been the top of the earth predominantly from past 4 to 5 years. But in simple terms, what is AI? So it refers as making the machines intelligent, or we are trying to making the machines mimic the human behavior. It doesn't only mean the intelligence. The earlier version of AI were used to make machines mimic the human behavior. When we say we want the machines to have the cognitive functions of the humans, so one of the basic human capabilities that we have is we can move around and perform physical activities. So I can lift things, I can walk, I can sit, I can stand. So people started to make machines mimic this basic task, and that led to the field of robotics. And this is not a new field. It came in the early 1960s and 1970s. To that, the one thing we humans have is we have the ability to recognize and learn from the patterns. Every object in this world has a pattern associated with it. If I see a chair, there's a pattern with it. It has four legs. It has a flat surface. If I see a laptop, it is that square. There's a monitor. So every object, it may be living or non-living. There's a pattern associated with each of these objects. So this behavior of identifying the pattern is predominant in our nature, that is the human beings. If I add that, whatever I try to mimic with the machines, the ability can be enhanced, right? So the basic human capability combined with it, so this has led to the drastic growth of the field of robotics. So these are the earlier versions and this is the present version. Similarly, we humans have one more ability that we can see things, right? And intelligent behavior is we can not only see things, we can interpret the environment. If I see things, I can detect what is that object. So this led to the field of something known as computer vision. So computer vision is where we take images or the video files, we try to identify the objects in it. Earlier versions, we used to detect one or two objects in those images or maybe the video files. But since that intelligent pattern highlighted in it, that is to recognize patterns and learn from it, that field has emerged to very large extent, and nowadays we can detect multiple objects in real time. Best example is self-driving cars. I'm not talking about the medical field because that advancement has happened in some other field very predominantly. So self-driving cars, that your camera can detect multiple objects in a real time, right? So one more thing is we can hear sounds and we can recognize the sounds. If I hear something, I can say, okay, yes, this is the sound of XYZ. This is the sound of a car, sound of an animal, or etc. So this was the field of speech recognition. The another field was natural language processing, where humans compared to other living beings are not only capable of making sounds or recognizing it, we can communicate through many languages, right? So this is the field of natural language processing, wherein your machines can understand a language and communicate to it. Best example is your mobile phone, where you say, hey Google or Siri, and you can talk with them in your natural language, maybe English, Kannada, Hindi, anything. So this was the field of natural language processing. So all put together, AI comprises of these main three domains: computer vision, robotics, and natural language processing. However, the secret ingredient there, which enhances the behavior, right? Recognizing a pattern and learning from it. So that field we call it as machine learning. So machine learning is one thing which enhances the ability of all the subdomains of artificial intelligence. No, why I took these things is, since we are talking of AI applied to healthcare, we need to know among those fields, all three are being applied on healthcare. Some, except robotics, the other two are already in place, right? Robotics is still picking up. I'll touch to that later. And there's one more keyword, deep learning. No need to go through it. So machine learning, we want to identify the patterns, learn from this. From this basic, why I took up this is, when I say AI models have the ability to learn from something, to identify patterns and all, there are many ways to do it. One of the ways we call it as supervised learning, wherein the model or the algorithm we have, right? Some model will be there. We fed the input data, and this our model, ML model, learns from this data. However, this data is a labeled data. See, there are different shapes of hexagon, triangle, and square. Along with this, I am also teaching the machine, if this is the shape, this represents square. If this is the shape, this represents triangle. So I am teaching the machine, if this is hexagon, triangle, rectangle, this is how it looks. You learn from this data. Your machine learns from that data. Afterwards, if I show something similar, if I ask the machine to tell me, identify that, whether it is a hexagon, triangle, or anything, the machine which has learned from this data will be able to identify that data. Right? So this is the training phase, that is the testing phase. So this type of learning is similar to your classroom teaching, where a teacher teaches the student with something and gives a test and asks the question. So this we call it as supervised learning. And one more thing is there, unsupervised learning, wherein I will just give the data to my model, right? But I'm not telling the machine what is this, maybe a basketball, football, or a baseball. But I'm just giving the data, but I'm not telling that what is this, what is this. So this is a data. You identify some pattern for it and group them into different clusters. So your machine has unlabeled data. It sees some pattern in it based on some algorithm, and it segregates the data into different parts. So this is the second part of learning. Last part is reinforced learning, where the system learns through events. Your system tries to do some action. It may yield positive impact or negative impact. Suppose if I want to play a game of this robot reaching that diamond, if it takes this path, yes, positive feedback. If it comes here, positive feedback. If it comes here, there's a fire. So this robot will get a negative feedback and it will trace back. Yes, I did something wrong. I should not repeat it again. This is more predominant in, say, suppose the rover sent to the Mars, wherein they have to find a path to the unknown place. They can use the reinforced learning. Why I took up this basic is, among these three major learning paths, medical field is predominantly dependent on AI in healthcare, is predominantly dependent on supervised learning. Because medical field, the healthcare is a field wherein I cannot try more of unsupervised or reinforced learning. Because everything is critical here. I cannot tell the machine, okay, try this something on the patient, learn from it. If something happens bad or some catastrophic things happen, you retract back and again try it. That cannot happen in the medical field. So the majority of the work wherein AI can fit into the medical field is supervised learning, where the machine has to be trained on the real-time data with labeled data with supervision. It learns from it and then acts accordingly. So when I say supervised learning, the data is important. So this thing has to be kept in mind. And yes, there are a few more terms like artificial neural networks and all. So the model which I told, right? The algorithms which learn from the data, there are many basic models, there are advanced models and all. These models have been designed to act like how our brain actually functions. So they came up with a term known as artificial neural network. If that is much more complicated, which has much more deep layers, we say it as a deep neural network. So this is just for your reference or terminology. But interesting fact is, AI is not a new thing. It was there from 1960s, right? 1960s, and it was in 1980s, end of 1980s, where neural networks were introduced. So the AI models became stronger after 1990s. Then early 2000, deep learning came into picture. The machines became much more powerful. However, the present trend, the present demand for AI increased after 2015 onwards. That was due to the advent of the GANs, diffusion models, transformers, etc. and all. And the GPT came into picture on around 2020 or something. So now AI is the talk of the hour. So the drastic change came after 2015. And this change was due to something known as generative AI. Generative AI are the models, right? AI models, to be precise, not AI models, machine learning models, which can generate new things. So, if I ask a human to draw a picture of something, I can create new pictures. I can write a poem. I can write a essay with new words. So I can generate new things. Same things the machines are able to do it. So generative AI was a deep learning model, so which uh, revolutionized the field of AI. And this happened after 2015. So the new things which are coming up are 99% of the things are based on generative AI in the field. And to back it up, there are something known as large language models. That I think many of you are aware of at least the ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity. Most of you use it, maybe to generate a report, etc., etc. So it is a product, but it is trained. The model behind it is a large language model, where the name suggests it is trained on huge amount of data, right? Now, why I told this is the sudden transformation in the AI field has happened due to generative AI and large language models. Application of AI into healthcare happens predominantly in the field of supervised learning, not others. Generative AI is used to generate new things, which is not so much relevant for healthcare field. So the things or the questions in mind, whether AI will change the healthcare drastically, suddenly, as it is happening in our the software industry field, no, that cannot happen in the healthcare field, right? Because in software field, this generative models can generate a new code for a given scenario. If I say generate a code, generate a software for so and so requirement, within a fraction of minutes that code will be ready, that software will be ready. 50% of the software field, I mean the developers may lose their jobs in another 5 years. But that is not a case in healthcare because that cannot, I mean, forcefully fit into healthcare because without the intervention of the medical professionals, complete taking over by AI in healthcare is not possible, but that will complement the doctors. All said and done. So to better understand, if I see the present applications in AI, the more work which has been done and which has already been put into place, usages in the field of medical imaging and diagnosis. So the best example is if I give a CT scan or a scan or a X-ray or something to the machine and ask it to identify a disease, maybe a cancer or a degeneration or something, the machine will be able to do it. Right? This we say it as classifying or detecting. So using the medical images, the machines, pre-trained machines, can diagnose and let you know whether it is normal or abnormal or where that abnormality is present in the images. But all said and done, training has to be done before with the data set. The machine can give you the output based on the data it has been trained. Right? So the accuracy of that model, of that AI model, depends on the type of data you have trained that model. And another application. So this is maybe there are many products already available, and many of the scanning centers and hospitals have already adopted this. Next is the remote monitoring and wearable devices. This is the latest trend that is coming. Smartwatches, the smart rings, smart glasses, maybe the patches, something. So these gadgets can monitor a human's pattern, features, and give real-time feedback on maybe the disease maybe that is present or else a warning that so and so things can happen. So this is one of the field that is coming up, and AI can assist in drug discovery and development. What happens when a company prepares or else doing some R&D on say some synthesis of a new drug or a new chemical composition, there may be thousands and lakhs of combinations they have to train. But the machines, I mean AI models, can synthesize these combinations, do the mathematical combinations much more faster than the humans. Right? So the time taken by humans, maybe it was say in months, that can be done in days now. Predictive analytics. Here, when I say the first one, medical imaging and diagnostics, I am trying to detect something in that image. When I say predictive analytics, I am trying to predict something that might happen. Based on the reading of a patient, based on the data of a patient, maybe the features, maybe the imaging, what are the medical terms you people call, based on that feature, if I can say after a week or you are say based on the heart rate, based on the ECG echo and all, if I can say, okay, your heart is 80% fit now, maybe after a month or after 2 months, there is a danger to you. If I can predict that we call it as predictive analytics, right? And one more thing is robotic surgery. So the robots are being tested. Many few cases wherein they have been deployed to do the surgery. One of the example is the Da Vinci surgical system. These are automated systems, but not 100% AI driven. So the now present technology is not yet so much advanced so that it can be 100% AI driven. It is automated. There's a machine, someone is operating it and doing the surgery things from a remote place, but not completely taken over by the machine. This field still has time to develop, right? So seeing these applications, obviously the burden may be reduced, faster diagnosis. The results will be given in seconds by the AI models, and you can give personalized treatment. So, as Dr. Vikram sir was telling, giving a medicine for a patient, same medicine for a patient, we can now take the data of that patient, feed it to the machines, including the genetic structure of that patient. So for that patient, which is the medicine that is best suited. So personalized treatment can be given to the humans. Remote access and cost efficiency. Just have a look at these products. Heidi Health is, there are many products, few to name like Heidi Health. It is AI medical scribe. So patients come in, instead of asking the question to the patients, listening it, writing down, visiting the wards and all. So huge amount of data will be generated, written text, stored it in some other format, and next time when the patient comes, I need to read it, I need to analyze it again, and on that I need to give the treatment. But these scribes are coming up wherein when a patient enters, a doctor speaks with the patient, that automatically voice will be captured, it will be stored somewhere, automatically it will be right? And also if some other model has been applied there, automatically suggestions will be given by the system. So this was the conversation, this is the summary, this is the problem with the patient, this is suggested to be, this care can be taken to the patient. So this automatic suggestions will be given by the scribes. So this is a field of natural language processing. One more is there, Tempus AI. So this is used in mostly in oncology and cardiology, where it is a platform to give precision medicine, that personalized medicine for the patient based on the clinical data, molecular data, and imaging data of that patient. It does not, it not only analyzes a single type of data for a given patient, it analyzes multiple type of data from the multiple sources for that patient, analyzes it and gives the personalized treatment. ORCID is there. It is a federated learning and biological agent for the drug discovery, and GI Genius, I think you people have seen it. GI Genius is, it detects the colon during the endoscopy. So when they do the endoscopy in the system itself, in the real time, it detects the whatever the, what do you call it as? I cannot say the disorder. What was the name, sir? The lesions present, and it will mark it with a box and show it in the real time. So these are the products that are coming up, and as you can see, either image analysis, video analysis, or your data analysis, it is happening. These are few of the India-based AI startups. One of them is Nirmai. Nirmai, now this has been taken over by US, so they are funding it, as I read. So it is AI thermal imaging for the breast cancer. Instead of the scanning, the radiations and all, they put take the thermal image of a patient and they detect the breast cancer. And there is Q.AI, where it interprets the radiology scans for lung cancer, and it is compatible with the previous machines. So these things are coming up, and yes, one more the trending thing is AI-powered wearables, stethoscopes. So AI-powered stethoscopes. Now, if the doctor uses the stethoscopes, real time there will be a attached display for it. So all the signals will be displayed and all that is coming. Now the watch has gone. Now they are coming with the wearable rings. Wear a ring, sleep. So your sleep pattern will be recorded. Your eating pattern will be recorded. Your heart rate, heartbeat, and then how many steps have you walked. So all those things will be done, and it can be connected to your gadgets or phones, and it will give you feedback. So your you should do this and that. So many things are coming up, and that is one of the nice invention for keeping track of the diabetes, the sugar level. So earlier the people used to go for hospitals. Now that machine came where they punch here and check the sugar level. Now the patches have come. You can put the patch, wear your cloth. So do your daily work. Your sugar level will be monitored from morning to night, and it is connectable to your phone. So based on your activity, how your sugar level is changing, that is taken by the micro sensors fed to your phone, I mean the cloud, and also that can be directly connected to the doctors who are at the remote places. So these are few of the products coming, and robotic surgery, the Da surgical system. This was what I was talking about. Now, so seeing all these trends and all, we should understand what are the gaps and challenges that are present in AI, right? For the healthcare, the first and the foremost thing is the data quality and availability. As I told, AI systems are driven by data. Whatever data you use to train it, your AI systems will act accordingly. Models are there, many models. However, in India, especially, there is a huge lack in the standardized data sets. Abroad, it is not the case. There are many institutions, there are many research labs which have come up with medical data. But in India, because so standard data sets are also not available. And maybe due to privacy or etc. Then one more thing, data is often biased towards specific population. See, I don't know whether I'm correct saying this. Few of the diseases may differ geographically. The features or the benchmark which we set may differ geographically. It may be different in the Western countries, it may be different in the topological areas. But the AI systems are being trained on those data sets which are present in Western countries. It might, I won't say it is not, it might not be relevant for the present place to use those AI models. That is also there, right? So this is one of the major challenge and one of the opportunity for all of us, I mean the medical field, to create a data center, a research center or a data hub that is created by the medical field, maybe in a hospital like this, with some R&D centers, and it has huge potential because next data is the next code as they speak, right? And bias and inequality. AI trained on imbalanced data sets will be wrong. Maybe there may be socio-economic bias, there may be gender bias, etc., right? So this might lead to wrong interpretations. If I have a CT scan of only female patients in my data set, it might not be correct. Because so we don't have so much time, but yes, because as I read, I was going through the Alzheimer's, the ADNI data set. So the socio-economic factors which affect the Alzheimer's disease and the brain volume, the shrinkage levels in male and female are different as per the research outcomes. But when you train the machines, if your data set is not balanced with the different populations, with the different gender, with the different etc., anything, that will adversely affect the output of your AI models. So this is one of the challenge. And regulatory bias, obviously, because regulations have not come for AI yet. That too specifically for healthcare. Because if you deploy a AI model, if something goes wrong, who will take the responsibility for it? Doctors will blame on the model. Model gave this thing, it is not my responsibility, and obviously your AI model will not take the responsibility. So all these things are there, has to be taken care. So future when we see, one of the best thing to go forward is to create the data bank of our own in India, in local, maybe in Mysore, and this data should be from the diverse places. And interoperable medical data set using federated learning. So I cannot go in depth for what is federated learning. For the time being, what happens nowadays, say in Europe, 2 to 3 countries they collaborate with each other, the hospitals or the research centers. In their local place, they generate the data set, they analyze the data set using federated learning models, they come up with the results and they share with each other. However, using federated learning, the sensitive information is not shared among the people. Data set is generated. Learning happens locally. Only the learned knowledge is shared into a central place and they summarize it at the central place. But that summarized knowledge which you have has been learned from different data sets across different places. So it strengthens your AI model. Such things are not happening here if, as per my knowledge, right? So, and the cross-institutional collaboration has to be encouraged. And if any bias using the diverse populations, this has to be corrected. You can, I think, not the exactly medical thing. Also, you can take your mobile in this WhatsApp, just try it out. Go to send a message to someone, right? While sending a message to someone, I think there is an option like attach, create an attachment, right? Attachment, AI images is there. If not tried, you can try it out. WhatsApp, message and attachment, AI images. If you go there and just type anything. Suppose if I take if I type family of 4, and okay, family having having a picnic, something like that. Family having a picnic in a type mode. See that image. Right? So new image will be generated, which will be different to different people. So this is generative AI. Now see that image, right? Many of you got different images. Observe that image. Even the background is not from India. Correct? Background is not from India. Even the people sitting are not from India. Either there will be Western people, or else by chance if some Asian people has popped up in your phone, that will be from China. No, correct. You can verify with your friends or your colleagues. This is because the model is trained on data sets available from the Western country. India doesn't have its own data set, which is a huge drawback for us. Forget about this because this is a generalized data set. But I think for medical field, we need to have our data set which is geographically distributed, which is collaborated across the. So that's a huge gap that is there, and without bias. This is main. Next, we should use next future is using multimodal artificial intelligence. Multimodal artificial intelligence is making the machine learn for a given disease or for a given scenario. We should make that machine learn from multiple kinds of data set. Maybe the COVID virus, there's a X-ray scan will be done, that swab test was being done, and maybe the questions which the doctors ask. So at least there are three different kinds of data set. So for a given person, different multiple data sets has to be created and multimodal analysis has to be done. So this come up and AGI, which is in trending now, which will take up. So that can be done, and obviously human AI collaboration will happen. Only AI driven machines will not, or else it is not appropriate for the healthcare. So somewhere or in each stage, intervention of the clinicians, the medical practitioners is compulsory. So the things the doctors or the medical field should watch out is, the first one is already in place, the clinical research support. The next one is there, medical imaging and radiomics. And this one is conversational AI. Many products are coming which are free to download. Many hospitals can adopt it, like I told you, right? Just imagine wherein hundreds of patients come into your hospital. Doctor has to spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes with each of them. There will be a long waiting period. Or else, if there is a scribe or a AI agent, patients can come in that can ask the questions to the patient. Patient can answer it. So already before the patient goes to the doctor, that whole summary is there. Doctor, so instead of spending 10 minutes, doctor will spend only 1 minute. Maybe the patient can complete this process in his home and come to the hospital. So those apps are coming up. So that can be done. And so the next, remote monitoring and home-based care will be the future in the medical field, even if it is needed or not. That is coming up. So that is one thing to watch out. And AI-assisted surgery or robotics, it is still a very long way to go, because the robotics field has not taken the step yet. So conclusion, I can say, better to have our own data sets, have our R&D centers, create the data sets, concentrate on home-based care and hospitals or maybe the private doctors, so they can have these apps connect to the people. And AI and robotics will be in demand in the near future, and AI will complement the medical decision process, but it will not replace any clinicians or doctors. So this is what I wanted to share. Thank you.
Your talk has truly expanded our knowledge in the field of medical practice and patient care, sir. I now request Dr. S.P. Yogana sir to felicitate our speaker. Now let us move on to the guest lecture by Dr. Vikram Patil sir. He is a Deputy Dean of Clinical and Translational Research at JSHR, apart from serving as Professor of Radiology and heading the Center of Digital Health. As a leading expert in artificial intelligence in health sciences, he has been a key driver in fostering strategic collaboration to advance data-driven research within the Indian context. He also holds key leadership position as a Vice President of the Observational Health Data Science and Informatics India. I hand over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. I know we are running a little late and trying to wrap up as early as possible. No, sir, the problem is the attention span goes off after 30 minutes. Anyway, so some of the basics already Aditya has covered for us. So I'll not touch upon too much of what is the basics of what we should be knowing as medical professionals or healthcare professionals. So if we have to understand a little bit of what artificial intelligence is, it is nothing but it is computers that are able to perform human intelligence. That is artificial intelligence. And this has already been told, began way back in 1950, before 1950s. Alan Turing coined the term artificial intelligence. And as he has already told, it was going on in a huge manner, and suddenly they said, okay, AI is not going very big, let's stop using AI. 1960s, after 1966, AI started, usage stopped. But over the period of time, what happened? Computers became faster, internet became more available, data storage became more better. So all this increased, again things started to change. So I don't know, many of you may not be still aware about this, but some seniors will be knowing. It was in 1996, there was a computer called supercomputer. They kept a match between Kasparov and the supercomputer Deep Blue. In 1996, actually Kasparov won against the supercomputer in 5 to 6 matches. But in 1997, what they did a small tweak. They changed the hardware a little, they changed the software a little, and this time Kasparov lost. So supercomputers started coming into play. This is artificial intelligence actually. So once we have understood artificial intelligence, we should also understand the concept of big data. As already it has been told many times, we need large amount of data sets for good AI projects to come out. So this large amount of data is called big data. And in that, we need what is structured data. Majority of our data that we have is unstructured data, either it's in text documents or PDFs, images, or whatever. And then sometimes you can have it quasi, semi, or structured. But what is very important is a structured data set. So if you take an example of what a structured data set is, if you see this Facebook tab which I have put here you are seeing there are some details like name of a person, his sex, his occupation. This is all structured. It is in a particular structure. That is a structured data. Similarly, all our electronic health records are in structured format. We capture it in demographics, we capture the patient history, presenting history, chief complaints, various structures we capture. These are all structured data examples. Then after involving all these components, that is high computing power, storage, good amount of data, that is structured data, come what we call as algorithms, which is the basis for AI. So this has already been dealt, so I'll keep this slide. And also, a lot of AI started coming, whether it's Alexa or Siri or many other products which we use in a day in and day out. They're all AI technically, but we are not using it in healthcare ecosystem. And this person is called the godfather of neural networks. His name is Geoffrey Hinton. In 2016, he made a remark that we should stop training radiologists henceforth. In the next 5 years or maximum 10 years, there will be no need for radiologists across the world. And still we are there. I am a radiologist person. So still I am working. That means this has not become a reality. So what was expected was, probably our future radiologist will be something like this. A machine giving the entire answer saying, okay, this is your diagnosis. But this has not become a reality. So what is the truth? Why is this happening is, radiologist doesn't represent an image, or any doctor. He doesn't interpret just an image. He interprets based on, he is able to reason, plan, solve problems, think abstractly, and many other things. So human intelligence is slightly different from artificial intelligence. And also, there is something called artificial general intelligence, which encompasses everything. That is artificial intelligence and all these general components. If we have to reach that, it says that by 2030 we may be 42% chance and so forth. And by 2100, there's a 10% chance that it will be almost equivalent, or I mean, say 90% chance that it will be equivalent, human and artificial. But it's a long way to go. So based on this, now this background, I'll tell what we have done at JSS, so that you get an idea of what can be done in the healthcare ecosystem. And maybe some part of it you can incorporate. He has already addressed certain challenges. He mentioned the biggest challenge was data, and biased data. So we took that as the first step. So data is the backbone for artificial intelligence. So what we did is, so what is patient data, as you already was mentioning, is it includes clinical data, whether it's electronic health records or images, radiology, pathology, or administrative data, or even patient-generated data, which can be from trackers which the patients are wearing. Nowadays, all of you have these smartphones which records your BP, heart rate, and many things. And all this makes a huge decision important. It's very important for our decision making and many other things. So, as I was trying to tell you, electronic health record is not the only source of data. We have medical imaging data, lab data, wearable data, genomic data, and also data from patient determinants. Like we see dengue suddenly coming from a particular region. That is depending on a social determinant, a geographical determinant. That is also important because we can take care for that particular area. And why this is all important? Once we have a structured data, we can make a huge difference. AI has two big roles always, I would say. One is early detection of a disease. For example, a cancer is being detected after 5 years, can we detect it now? That is the first advantage. Second is, it can make a doctor or a healthcare professional available where there is no health facility. For example, we have Suyo here, who is sitting as a pulmonologist in Suyo Hospital. Instead, is a pulmonologist kind of facility be made in Nanjangud? Can we have a super specialist available in a periphery? So that expertise we can bring into the peripheries. So the two biggest advantages I see is early detection of a disease and making a specialist available where there is a deficiency of the health. For example, a radiologist is not there in Nanjangud. Can a radiologist report be generated there using AI? That is what we are looking at. So the biggest challenge across when we look into of medical AI in India, so many, and majority of them are around data. Data quality, data privacy, standardized data is not. Many things are related to data. So with this background, we saw in our own ecosystem. Okay, what are we sitting on? This is started in 2018-19 period, where we saw we are using a hospital information system, we are using PACS for our reporting. This is quite interoperable. Means everything is well connected. So when we saw this, we saw why not use it for research purposes. So we saw we were capturing data in OPD dashboards, ward nurse was having, ultrasound reports or radiology reports were in the backboard, lab reports were generated in the backboard, or a hospital information system. So we saw that and we thought, okay, let's make our own data management policy because Government of India didn't have a data management policy. So in 2021, we came up with our own data management policy. So we thought, okay, we should use data in such and such manner for research purposes only. And this is in alignment with whatever was existing in the government. And then we even have updated this again in 2025 now, because you all may be aware of something called as the DPDP Act, which is coming now, which is not yet totally implemented, but it's coming. It was actually started in 2023 as a draft, and this act is very draconian, we can say. If a silly mistake happens, a hospital will have to pay 250 crore rupees as a penalty. If somebody sues us, that is the clause in that. It has not become a reality yet, but there are some clauses there where it says use anonymized data for research, use patient consented data for research. So all those sub clauses are there where we have to make sure we utilize those sub clauses and do what best we can do here, mankind. So once that was there, when we have a data policy in place, we created a data committee. We thought, okay, let's make a data committee where we'll ask the requester, whoever wants the data, he'll request, and we have made this policy such that the requester has to be only within the JSS ecosystem. But he can have a collaborator from anybody. For example, Aditya wants to work with JSS, he can always, we tie up with one of our faculty, they together will submit the proposal saying that I want to work on this project and only on this project, and we will anonymize the data and give them for that particular project only, and they have to give a declaration that they are using it for this only, and we would approve this based on that. So this is what we created as an internal ecosystem. Once this was done, then we anonymized all the patient identifiers. As you can see, this is a discharge summary. Sorry, I switched it on. Okay. So you can see that we have anonymized all the patient details. So patient details have to be anonymized. That is the basic rule that we should understand whenever we are working on health data. And when we saw that data, we are able to do something on that. We thought, okay, let's collaborate. And we, some international collaborators came to us, like Johnson and Johnson Pharmaceuticals, Global Value. They signed an agreement together, saying that okay, let's set up what we call as real world data. See, we have data which is there, which is synthetic data, means not from patients. What we was trying to say is there are some data which can be artificially created, but what actually makes a difference is real world data, that is data from patients. So we set up what is called as ODC India chapter, that is the Observational Health Data Science and Informatics chapter. That international chapter is set up in Colombia. We set up the Indian chapter at JSS. And with that, we were able to archive our data, organize our data to some extent. And even now we organized our breast cancer data as a pilot project, and we could see that one click of a button, the entire details of that data set can analyze, whether how many patients are responding to the particular drug, or what kind of drugs were used, or what was the demographics, everything at a click of a button. All this can be done if we have good quality. And also we are trying to set up a cardiovascular disease registry. So this registry will capture data in a very structured format, and this can be implemented across India or across the globe in a very streamlined manner. That is what we are working on. And once we had all this data, we could see the results. In COVID itself, we published more than 155 papers. So that is the potential of data. It is not just for clinical application, it's also for publications or research that can make a difference. So once we did with data or clinical applications, we moved on to what we can do with academic programs. Because we are an academic and a research institution apart from clinical care. So we first set up a center for digital health and artificial intelligence, where we started connecting industry to the institution, and also engineering colleges to institutions, and also startups. These were our key areas of focus. And we started calling international people, whether it may be from various US, UK, or wherever, to come and talk to us, just like how we are talking locally today. And we started inviting government officials, whether it's National Digital Health Mission, which was even before, this was in 2019, and even ABDM was not a reality, it was just a theory that time. Now ABDM has become a reality, now ABDM has become a mandatory requirement for many things. So this we started discussing in 2019. We did EHR workshops to make sure, there's a called CDAC in Pune, which makes sure all our data is in a structured manner. We called them and did workshops for that. And we did a host of webinars, whether it may be in dental, pharmacy, medical, wherever we are trying to do in all our ecosystems, including I delivered in the WHO, certain events. So we did a lot of events. And then we started with the programs. Now we are running BSc program in artificial intelligence. We are running an MSc program in health technologies and data science. We are teaching our MBBS students artificial intelligence as a foundational course and also as electives. And also we have now working on creating asynchronous courses, that is, you can deliver online courses anytime. So if you may be interested to learn artificial intelligence or data science at your own pace, at your own time, for that we are working on certain courses. And also we were the first in India to overhaul our entire pharmacy education. So we have incorporated 30 to 40% AI curriculum in our pharmacy. So what we have done is actually, if there is an anatomy chapter, in the end of the anatomy chapter, there will be what are the AI tools that are relevant for application of AI in anatomy. If there is a drug dosage chapter, what are the AI tools in which we can learn how to do drug dosage? So this application is very important for us as healthcare professionals. We do not know how to do it, but we should know how to apply it. And then we have this, when UGC gave us the liberty of choosing professors of practice. Professors of practice are industry experts who can come into the academia. So we got Google specialist Dr. Shruti Gadgil, who came with us as a professor of practice. We have Johnson and Johnson's data director Asha Mahesh, who is a professor of practice. We have got some eminent people who guide us about what is the industry required. And we started doing a lot of PhD programs, especially in life sciences, pharmacy, using AI. A lot of publications started coming out across the field, and we did a lot of grant submissions. So our biggest grant we applied was, which although we didn't make the cut, it was 300 crore grant, was for the setting up a center of excellence in AI, and so forth. We started putting, and right now also 2 or 3 of our grants have crossed to the next level. And after this came, how do we innovate and do research in our ecosystem? So we started collaborating with a lot of industries, whether it's Google, L&T, Philips, Johnson and Johnson, local companies like Scanray, or even startup hubs like IKP, NASCOM. They are working all of them. Currently, we are working even with a company called Alpha Grid, which is working on digital twins. That is the future, I would say, for precision medicine. So as I was trying to tell you, a lot of MOUs were signed, and we started working collaboratively with certain companies. I'll just give an example of a few companies which we work with. This is a company, first company called Ikinist, which normally an MRI takes about 40 minutes or 30 minutes once it enters the gantry. With this quick scan, what was being done is, you reduce the scan time, meaning to say, instead of 40 minutes, you can do it in 20 minutes. How you get a raw image, a not so good image for interpretation, but with post processing, this can be made equally good for reporting. So that is the capability of AI. So it can reduce the scan times. That was what we did with quick scans. With IMERA, that's a UK-based company, we work with how we can detect musculoskeletal injuries better. It can just identify whether this is a fracture, what type of fracture. All this can be easily identified. Then we started to gain our own PG dissertations, especially on image-based. Wherever, as it was mentioned earlier, it's all image-based which came first. So wherever images were there, pathology, we started doing pathology-based projects on AI. Then we took up to radiology. In radiology, under me currently there are 6 students. All these are my students who are working on AI projects. So one is working on breast cancer detection, one is on TB classification prediction, clinical decision support for liver cancer, osteoarthritis estimation, pediatric bone age estimation, brain hemorrhage characterization, osteoporosis estimation using chest X-rays. All these are under me. Similarly, other projects are also under the other faculty. So these are some of the products that are coming up with us. So these students, when they work, how we make them work is work with collaboratively with either engineering students or with startups. Because as I was trying to tell you, we are domain experts, we are specialists in the subject, but we are not technical experts. We need not know how to code, we should know how to apply this project. So our students develop these tools, collaborate. For example, the first product is developed in collaboration with ST and JSS that is SJC Engineering College, in which the mammogram related breast cancer detection can automate. The next product is on TB, tuberculosis, in which it can say whether it is tuberculosis positive or negative, and also we added one feature on this. It also is trying to predict whether it is drug resistance or drug sensitive tuberculosis. It's a big thing. Although what I am saying is, we may not be very successful in our tools, because a good tool needs very good data, and the data we are feeding it is very minimum data. So these tools may not be great, but the thing is, what we are trying to do is, just as this seminar will awaken all of you that AI is coming, these will awaken our students how to use them. That is the whole concept in which we are doing it. Similarly, we have clinical decision support system. So once what usually now happens is, you send me a CT scan, I just report it and say, okay, there is brain hemorrhage, and I send it back to you. But what the future is, it should act like a comprehensive doctor. It should act like, okay, there is a brain hemorrhage, there is isthmus midline shift, so the best next line of management is you should do surgery or you should conservatively manage, and this is the best treatment option available according to this guideline, this guideline. That is what is clinical decision support system. That is a comprehensive tool which incorporates everything put together. That's what the future should be looking towards at. And also, there's one more project which we have completed is on osteoarthritis detection. Similarly, many other products also are ready. And then we look into dermatology. There also AIs, images were there. So here we saw acne vulgaris. One of our PGs worked on acne. You see acne when it is there. Usually when a dermatologist treats it, they look into the treatment response is based on how many have reduced. Now there are 50 acne today. Tomorrow there are 30 acne. That means it has reduced. That is a prognostication marker. But you have to count all those 50 individually. It's really challenging. So what this tool is doing, this AI app will just take a picture and say, okay, last time it was 50, this time it is 30, and it is reduced. So immediate treatment response is visible. So this is a tool which has been devised by our students again. Similarly for alopecia areata and various other patch tests. Then came our big projects. We started with Google on certain projects. Google gave their API, Google Doc Lens API to us. It was a document digitizer. Your handwritten descriptions are there, you can digitize them, or any handwritten documents, you can digitize them. So what we did is, they gave their API to us. We incorporated a layer of how to prevent medication errors here. Meaning to say, when somebody writes a prescription, it goes to the pharmacist. Easy reading it correctly, easy dispensing it correctly. So we started checking on that. And whenever it was errors were there, we were retraining them all. No, this is wrong. This is the medication that he has to do. So that way, our medication errors will reduce is our whole goal. And the other big project which we did with Google was the AMI project. This is one of the biggest projects which we have done with Google. We did it in 3 phases. This was in 2023 that I did this project. I was the lead PI from India. It was done between India, UK and Canada, 3 countries together. I was the lead investigator from India. So AMI is the medical version of Gemini. You might be aware of it. Oh, Gemini, I don't know, few of you may be using Gemini, just like ChatGPT, Google has Gemini. So medical version of Gemini is called AMI, in which what we did is we created scenarios. We created simulated scenarios, like a patient comes with cough. 3 days cough history is there, fever is there, so and so is there. So we created such scenarios like that. And the diagnosis would be pneumonia or whatever, LRTI or something for that matter. And when this was ready, what we did is we gave this script to patient actors. So patient actors had to chat and they were typing the text based on whatever we had given the script. That side, Google used to put a machine one time and a doctor one time, a primary care physician, MBBS kind of a doctor. So we did not know who was responding from that side. So we were just chatting, and based on our response, we used to grade based on, we can see the other side is a patient actor perspective, how we felt about patient's confidence in care, what was the openness and honesty, empathy. We used to grade them based on those parameters. Similarly, these texts were again recorded by unbiased and sent to a specialist to see how was the response. So whether the machine and human were responding correctly, especially in top 3 diagnostic accuracy, what was the management plan, what was the escalation recommendation. In everything you can see, the pink one is the machine or the AIM. The purple one in which you can see is the doctor or the primary care physician. You are seeing majority are all good enough. His confidence is good and honesty is good, diagnostic accuracy is good. But what is alarming is, you can see when it comes to empathy, you are seeing machine is over beating humans. Machine empathy factor was considered better. I don't know, maybe we have mood swings, we are good one time, we may not be good one time. Machines are very consistent. They say, okay, you are good all the time. I don't know, you might have read it also. Somebody had a suicidal tendency and the text read that I'm having suicidal tendencies, what should I do, this, that. He kept on telling something. And then his story never ended. And finally it said, okay, then you commit suicide. Because machines are trained to never say no. They'll also always try to come up with good things. See, this is the bias factor that you should understand. Where a human would never have to go and commit suicide. So that is the limitation that we should be aware of as we come up with AI. So then we did the phase 2. This we did in 2024. So what we did is, here we had one history, one visit. Now we did 3 visits. Like a patient comes with hypertension, his hypertension is not responding with a particular drug. So then we add another drug. So then his probably it will improve or it will deteriorate, and then he may even generate a complication because of drug interaction or something, comorbidity. Then he has to come back. So 3 visits. So this we call it as management and reasoning. So how was he managing and what is his reasoning process? So that is what we call as any phase 2. And then we did multimodal. What he was trying to tell is multimodal is we were always giving history and checking the patient. We started giving images plus history. Like patient comes with so and so history that I have got fever since 10 days, I have got so and so, and then he'll suddenly say I have developed a rash in yesterday. So that he'll give a photograph. Or he'll give an ECG. I got an ECG done, this is what my ECG says. So that we incorporate ECGs, chest x-rays, radiographs from the metallurgy, all this put together, we call it as multimodal. And again you can see everywhere, actually the blue one is the doctor, the red one is the machine. You are seeing machines are treating every time humans in all, whether it is multimodal, whether it is multi-session or all format. And all these were published in high impact journals called Nature. In Nature it was all published. And we even got a lot of credit that Google Research and JSS worked together in a lot of projects and this and that. And we also work with other areas, with other companies like geriatrics, especially he was mentioning about home care. We work, I also feel strongly in home care and elderly care are the big things in India. And we work with L&T Technologies to develop an app called Elder Care app, which is mainly for the elderly and home care, where we can reduce the medication errors again. So we also develop various apps with various consultants put together. This is one tool I would like to talk. Although we are working with a lot of startups, this one startup I like to mention wherever I go. This we are working is a very young startup called Analytics, which is still under pipeline. So what they are developing is a tool, camera-based video assisted tool, where students like this, all of you are sitting in the classroom now. Nowadays, depression and what do they call it as suicidal tendencies are with everywhere. You ask the 4-year kid, I mean 400 kid, they'll also say, I am depressed. So depression has become a fancy word nowadays. So this app, what we are looking at is, it is based on the facial expressions of the person and also as voice modulation, can we predict the depression score, the suicidal tendencies. So if this becomes a success, the idea is this can be taken up by colleges and schools and just put in their cameras, and once they feel somebody is having such tendencies, then they can counsel them or treat them in a better way. Otherwise, what is happening, we cannot easily say, okay, who is depressed? Everybody feels sad, everybody feels depressed. But can algorithms, can facial expressions, can continuous monitoring help is what this company is coming. And if this comes up as a reality, that will be a huge success, I would say. Apart from that, we are also working with chest x-rays and many other basic image workshop very recently on how digital health strategies we can implement, or Ayushman Bharat digital mission we can implement across the world. So doing all this over 7-8 years, what happened? We started getting recognition. I'm a member of the Health Sector Skill Committee for Future Skills and Health Technology. I have been presenting various forums, whether it's the Life Sciences Health Innovation Forums or international forums, even along with BIRAC. BIRAC is one of the biggest agencies in India for startup or innovations. So we were recognized along with them for supporting the startup ecosystem. Even internationally, we have been presenting, whether it's US or UK or Japan, for the Hokkaido University in Japan, in various forums. Recently, even we signed a MOU with L&T Technology Solutions to mainly strengthen med technology. And also, last week itself, I was in Bombay on 3 presentations I was doing. One was an understanding patient data, about how big pharma and healthcare should be coming together. And also, we had a wonderful panel discussion on what should be the future medical students or future healthcare training should be. End of the day, what we are looking is a little bit of data literacy, a little bit of AI literacy is must for everybody. As I told you, it is not possible for us to leave these all things and think. I was just discussing to Jonas when I reached here. And sir was a student, probably he never underwent his training with ultrasound or CT or MRI. It was only clinical decision at that time, meaning to say he used to percuss, he used to auscultate, and he used to make a decision. But now it's not like this. You won't make a decision with a CT, you won't make a decision with an ultrasound. So it has become a mandatory thing. So this is also going to be a future necessity. But only thing is, we have to learn how to use it. We have even set up a center of excellence in future healthcare. So I would like to conclude by saying the future of medicine lies in the power of collaboration and synergy of different disciplines. So don't see AI as a bane, it's a boon. Just make sure how you use it. Human in the loop, as was mentioned earlier also, make sure you use it for your judgment and not for your entire decision making process. You use it to understand the whole process, then finally you make your own decision over this is the best treatment innovation. Thank you very much.
It was a wonderful talk, sir. To express our gratitude and appreciation, I would request our chairman, Dr. S.P. Yogana, sir, and team of doctors to felicitate Dr. Vikram Patil, sir. Now I would request Dr. S.P. Yogana, sir, for his presidential remarks.
Respected speakers and my dear colleagues, I don't want to be before you for a long time, but at the same time I cannot go back without expressing some remarks as a president. It was a wonderful talk. And what is the take-home message? Just I will conclude the take-home message of both the speakers. At the outset, I thank both of them who have given a wonderful talk on AI implication in healthcare. See, we are all 70s doctors, especially me. As Dr. Vikram Patil said, we know the stethoscope and only percussion, but I can confidently tell you, we were treating better than all of you. We were enjoying the thrill of clinical medicine. We were enjoying. So that's of course support. So all these things, AI is complementary to the human brain. Nothing is equivalent to human brain. And one very important complementing remarks of Dr. Aditya for our medical profession is that AI can never replace doctors like in other fields. So therefore, don't worry, there will be a demand for doctors. That's one very important message we have to take. So in all other fields, AI can replace. It can remove people from employment. never with medical profession. So that is one important take-home message an expert has given. The second most important is, as told by both of them, the data. The machine learning wonderfully explained. That Aditya has wonderfully explained what is the types of machine learning and how the machine learns. So therefore, the brain child of human being AI, you have to feed a data. See the limitation of AI. So nowadays we have to know the merits and limitations. So that is what is lacking in our young brains. So we should also know the limitation, merit, and when to use it. So the most important limitation of AI as well as India is concerned, the non-availability of the data, the perfect data, because of various environmental variation, because various lifestyle variation, and remember, man's mind is the most mysterious thing in the universe. There is nothing equal to man, both in intelligence and in the extreme of worst also. So the human brain is too extreme. And remember, more than that, there is Atma is there, which personalizes each individual. So therefore, the data, keeping all other factors constant, the mind differs, the Atma differs. You may not believe in Atma. The Atma means personal identification. The iris of two people, the palmar arches of two people, the foot impression, the thumb impression, palmar arch, personal identification is specific. That specifies there is a unique Atma in individual which makes each individual different. So therefore, because of this variation, very difficult to get even in Western countries in a closed environment, a data which is 100% can be applied. And there are about 10,000 diseases. If you go, how many diseases are there? There are about 10,000 diseases, described diseases about. But on them, if you sort out, at least there are about 150 diseases which are common in the world. Of course, in India, if you know 50 diseases, you can be an expert, super specialist. Only 50 diseases. So therefore, it is why I am telling all these things. The most important observation of both of them is data. The machine works on data. So collection of data, standardization of data is very important, which may not be unique, which may not be that easy. So therefore, artificial intelligence in healthcare industry to apply is not 100%. For interpretation, again, you are needed. So therefore, this is the take-home message, and maybe in a few years, maybe down the line, 1 or 2 decades, so the artificial intelligence definitely in the management, I think it is going to take a very important role in the healthcare, the management. So, and quick decisions, differential diagnosis. So, the quick decisions and the accuracy and quick decisions, maybe it is useful and it could be a complementary in the healthcare. So, therefore, we have to update our knowledge. These upcoming things, in especially diagnostics. As Dr. Patil said, the AI is going to replace the deficiency of specialists, super specialists in the field. Very difficult to get the super specialist even in Mysore. So how can you get a super specialty in Saligama, Nanjangud and Mandya? So therefore, the most important implication of AI is replacement of super specialist, which is the order of the day, which is the demand of the day, and we are unable to produce so much of super specialists. I think with this remarks, I conclude, and all of you carry home this message, and we are going to make a short video of the talk of both, the summary of the talk of these, and we are going to circulate, and the clinical society, we have put up a timetable, I have put up a timetable yesterday, and it will be circulated by our team. There will be at least 2 talks, clinical meetings every month, and I request all of you to participate as speakers and as resource persons, being resource person from. And another most important, I should compliment Dr. Patel. See, in a city like Mysore, JSS is doing such a wonderful research activity which we are not knowing so much. And being a radiologist, he is involved in so much in the research center, the research field. I think please all of you stand up and give me a standing ovation. So we wish you, we are all with you. Please say, our doctors are only money, nothing else. But having a research bent, spending time in the research, I very rarely we see such people in our profession. I really am very glad. Let Lord bless you with good health. Thank you, one and all.
Good evening to all once again. It's my privilege to deliver vote of thanks. It's my privilege to deliver vote of thanks on behalf of SUYO Hospital, SUYO Clinical Society, and SUYO Group of Medical Institutions. First and foremost, we express our sincere appreciation to Dr. Aditya Sia for inaugurating the seminar and delivering an insightful keynote address that beautifully sets the tone for today's discussion. Thank you, sir. Our deep gratitude to our distinguished speaker, Dr. Vikram Patil, sir, for an enlightening and thought-provoking presentation on artificial intelligence in healthcare. Your talk has truly expanded our understanding of how technology can revolutionize patient care and medical practice, sir. Thank you so much. A special thanks to our chairman, Dr. S.B. Yoganna, sir, for his guidance, inspiration, and leadership in making this academic event possible. Thank you, sir. I extend our heartfelt gratitude to our medical director, Dr. C.O. Yoganna, for gracing this occasion with his presence and constant encouragement. Thank you, sir. Finally, a big thank to all the doctors, participants, staff members who have made this event a success with your presence and active involvement. With this, we conclude today's session. Thank you once again. Have a wonderful evening ahead, and we are looking forward for next CO Clinical Society event. Thank you.
ఇది ఎందుకు క్లోజ్